Hey guys, this is Rob C, the nerd as on the internet, and I jumped on the bandwagon. So Frostpunk came out about, like a week ago, something like that, and I just thought it sounded really cool. I'm kind of a huge fan of the concept of the Frostland because I'm also a major nerd for the wasteland. So I'm already pretty far in the game, so I just want to kind of just poke through, give some thoughts about what I've seen so far. Obviously, there's going to be some spoilers ahead, so, if you don't know much about the game, maybe watch a Let's Play. And I hope this loads quickly. I didn't think about that. So, one of the cool things about this game is that it's in its core, it's a settlement and resource management game. So you're basically building up a city and sort of directing people on the macro level. So you sort of assign, oh, I want 10 workers here, and then they go out and do whatever it is you assign them to do. The cool part about this is that the city works on sort of a circular grid. So instead of being like grid-like in the sense like Sim City or in games like that, in the Grim World, this game is like there's your generator in the middle, it's a circle, and everything else sort of orbits around it. And as you move out further, you get more space, but it gets colder. So let's take a peek here whenever it finishes loading. Okie dokie, so here's my horrible, cold, frozen city. And as you can tell, I'm doing a pretty bad job heating it because this game's pretty brutal. I have a stupid amount of sick people, and I don't know if that's to be expected or not. So, how do you interact with Frostpunk? So first things to know are up top here, you have your resources. Your generator here in the center works on coal. And in order to keep people alive, you need to keep them warm. And I'm not doing a very good job because I keep getting all these cold freezes. I think the game starts at like negative 0.4 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not even that cold, but then it immediately goes to like negative 30, negative 40, like negative 70. Then you start getting things where you need to like advance your research a bit so you can upgrade the sort of like insulation for your housing. And I did a pretty bad job because I only got to tier 3, and like I just unlocked tier 3, so I didn't get a chance to really do much there. Let's see here. Quite fewer people. Oh, that's good. Yeah, houses. So that would be the next thing because they have a base heating level of 3. So when you build things in the game, let's say for example you start with just tents, and you get bunk houses later you can upgrade them into or build them as they are. When you build in sort of a circular grid. See? Pretty sweet, don't you think? You have to build it adjacent to roads, which you also lay down manually. So if I want to create a road here, I do it like that, and it costs 9 wood. So it's kind of cool. You get some resource deposits when you first begin, things like wooden crates and like coal deposits, and you can put a bunch of workers on there to sort of mine them out. But later on, you need to get like mines and stuff going on. So this one's special in the sense that I put an automaton on here, so it runs the mine at 60% efficiency. I don't need to staff it with any people, or the coal mine, yeah. So anyhow, let's see. Let's just play a little bit, so show what's going on. So you pick pretty early in the game whether you want to do the order or the like faith and something path. I picked order because I just thought it'd be pretty cool. You get all these big banners, and you see a lot of searchlights at night. I have no homeless people, so everyone's at least in something kind of warm. And if I turn the heater on, yep, there you go. People can go in there again. I'm pretty much boned, to be honest. So here's the part where the big spoilers are. So I'm gonna go out and I'll go to the world map. Here's the big freeze, and it's frozen quite a bit. Oh. It's frozen quite a bit of things. When this transport makes it back, I don't think they're ever going to make it back again. And these guys are giving me 800 coal a day. I'm burning a significant amount. So yeah, I'm just barely... No, actually I'm burning more than I make. So at some point this generator will be unsustainable. Once I lose 800 a day, I'm going to be in a lot of water here. A lot of what will become cold water. I could try dropping the range setting on these things or dropping the steam level, but I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going to happen next, so I'll have to play some more to find out. One other major system of the game, which is kind of cool, is the Book of Laws. So, for example, adaptation. A lot of these I've already signed into law. So one is like an early decision in the game when you get people who are gravely sick, you can sustain life or use like risky treatments. Sustain life was, I think it's a good choice. I just was pretty new to the game, didn't know how to optimize for it. But in this case, they kind of just sit around inside your hospitals forever. They don't really get better until you get a later on like infirmary building. But then you can build care houses, which is what I actually clicked on a little bit earlier. So you can let them sort of sleep in there so they don't block the way for other doctors like healing other people. But yeah, you make sort of decisions as you play the game. Close that. There we go. No! No one went away. Yeah, you make decisions as you play, and some of them lock things off. Like, I didn't pick child labor, I picked child shelters. So kids are engineer apprentices in my settlement. They aren't laborers. The other option here was like medical apprentices, but I wanted the bump to research. So, and the other side is when you could pick like faith in something, I picked purpose. It's a little more linear, but like the first thing you get is like the neighborhood watch. You can build like watchtowers. Guard stations. I have the propaganda center right now because this was really huge to give me a like hope buff, I guess. Patrol is something you can pull from a watchtower. So a lot of the stuff you get on buildings. So if I click on say like the iron mine down here, not that one. All right, this coal mine. I already turned the heater on because that affects how often people are going to get sick. But you can use like say the foreman, which will increase efficiency. They use food rations. People like food rations and they eat raw food after. You can turn raw food into food rations at a rate of like 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 if you use like soup or like the sawdust bread. You can do emergency shifts. I already put them on the extra shift. Poor people. So, yeah, I don't know, man. This isn't looking too good for my city. So down here you can see where I have people employed. The regular fist is a worker. The fist with the cogwheel around it is an engineer. I think they're just work a little faster, something like that. This number here means that I have 8 out of the maximum 10 people that could be working there. So let's say I bump it up. Doop. Now I probably have a little more coal coming in as well. Let's see here. Yes, now I have a positive flow of coal. But like I said, when I lose that 800 from this post, probably when the freeze comes through, I don't really see what's gonna happen next, so whatever. Alright. So my research is complete. Let's get another one. This is actually pretty good. I can get more people working in my city, or I can get more housing. How am I on steel and stuff? I can't really replace too much of it, so let's just start that. Anyhow, the big freeze is gonna come in, so let's just kind of hang out for a minute. Wait for that freeze to come in, and then we'll see what happens next. Little people scurrying back and forth from work. Research beacon stereoscopic lens. Okay, I guess I need to follow the story a bit. Alright, this stuff is cool. These pop up, and they're not always this icon, but there are quite a few different ones. This is a sort of like a story event, or like a random event. So if I click on it, Storm's Harvest. Let's see here. Captain, the ill and their families have gathered to demand that we do something, anything, to help them. But the number of frostbite cases keep rising. We might not be able to help all the sick in time. You could use triage to heal most of them, but many would have to die. You have 3 days to use triage. Disperse the crowd. I'll find another solution. So actually I want discontent to go down, so I'm going to hit that. Kind of a bad boy thing to do, but I didn't actually zoom in. Let's see here. Protesting. They don't like my government very much. I have been pretty much like not shutting people down whenever they protest or want to talk out. Oh, this isn't good. This infirmary is too cold. Let's build another steam hub there. So, I don't know. I mean, it's not like the game says, like, do you want to give people free speech? But I'm just like, you know what? It's more interesting, like, when you play it that way to see, like, people kind of trash talk you a little bit while you're playing. Let's see here. Those streets should get built pretty soon. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Now let's build the steam hub. So this expands sort of like the thermal radius of the city. So you can see I already have a few of them here and there. Thermal radius of the generator, I mean. Let's see here. Come on, come on. Yes, it worked! Oh, that's great. This guy's still too cold to operate, which is a huge shame. This is raw food. I'm getting some from these hunter huts down here, but I need well, actually, I think most I need cookhouses. So my discontent is too high to make them work all night, so let's wait for the next day, see what happens. Let's pump some people here into the iron mines. Winter's hot. Okay, oh, here's the coal mines. Yeah, we need to max those out first, actually. Like I mentioned, the big freeze is about to happen, and I'm kind of a bad spot, so. What does that mean? Oh, no gatherables? So the coal thumpers are a little different than the coal mines, because what they do is they bring coal ore extraction out here, where they pull some from the ground, and then you drop these gatherer huts that will wait for this to sort of pop out so they can gather it. The game says that the upgraded one, the steam coal thumper, is enough for 4 huts, and this one's enough for 2. And I was just kind of following the game's instructions there, or the game's advice. Anyhow, let's bump the time up. The game automatically unpauses at 5 a.m. each day. And then, let's see here. And the big freeze should probably start in a few moments. Okay. I have 17 hours of coal left. Here we go. A howling gale bursts upon the city, and the generator creaks and groans under the weight of the wind. Pale faces turn towards rattling windows. Trembling lips utter words of prayer. The cold will be brutal. So a truck just parked outside my place, and it was rumbling so hard it probably was like really loud on the mic. So I'm just going to read this again. A howling gale bursts upon the city, and the generator creaks and groans under the weight of the wind. Pale faces turn towards rattling windows. Trembling lips utter words of prayer. The cold will be brutal. Hunting is impossible. The soil in the hot houses will freeze. We'll have to make do with the food we've stockpiled. We're boned. We didn't even try to understand what the storm will bring. We're completely unprepared. Regardless, be wary of the falling temperature and try to survive until the end of the storm. Well, that was me just not reading correctly. So anyhow, looks like that this means that that's the last food I'm gonna get for like a little while. Alright, looks like my cookhouse is too cold to roll, so let's destroy a bunkhouse, man. We need to get some... This is bad. So the cookhouse's size is a little bit odd compared to, say, like, the houses. And my fatal flaw is I put the cookhouse too far away from the main generator. So I mean, I guess I could pop in an overdrive, but... Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I have a little bit of food, and I don't really think it's gonna last. Can't even look at the world map because it's too cold now. It's kind of cool, actually. Let's see here, the propaganda place too cold. Whatever. Let's just pop this up here. Anyhow, guys, that's Frostpunk. Things are looking pretty abysmal for me. I imagine I'll make it. Like, well, I doubt it. It's like 400 people in my city, and I have that times 5 amount of food, so yeah, we'll see what happens next. Anyhow, alright guys, that's it for me. If you liked this video, please give it a like, consider subscribing, and check out my other stuff. See ya.